Given the topic of today's talking head, putting it over gameplay just felt tacky. So instead, you get the still image of my me from Mitomo. That makes it better, somehow. Anyway, yesterday, a woman allegedly went to YouTube headquarters in San Bruno, California, and opened fire. 4 employees were injured before the woman allegedly took her own life with a 9mm pistol that was found on her. I can confirm at the time of this recording that 2 of the injured employees have been released from the hospital. Reports say that San Bruno police believe that the woman was a disgruntled YouTube content creator who was upset over her videos being demonetized and age restricted. Last night we were told that this was a fight between the woman and her boyfriend that got out of hand. I tell you that last part to drive home the fact that this incident is still under investigation, and that the story may change as we continue to learn more. There are also conflicting reports about the woman's parents telling police that they needed to keep an eye on her. Again, everything is still under investigation. And since that's all I know for sure, that's all I'm going to say about the incident itself. Yesterday, while everything was unfolding, Jimmy, Ned, and I broadcasted live to Facebook and YouTube to discuss what was happening. To be honest, I'm not sure that we accomplished anything, but I do know the reason we did it was because we wanted to make sure that there was a voice out there encouraging people to not let this be a reason to argue with people and to encourage people to pray for the people involved, including the family and friends of the alleged shooter. I said people a lot in that sentence. It was a mouthful. Anyway, all too often our news media uses incidents like this to stir up trouble, and we wanted to help cut into that and hopefully add to the sanity and distract from the insanity. I don't really know how to end this video. I wanted to express how angry I am that people almost immediately turned this into a way to push their ideology. And not just one side of it. Almost every side saw an opportunity and pounced. It made me sick. And that certainly happened. But here we are 24 hours later, and no one's talking about the shooting, like, at all. Now, one could argue that it wasn't worth talking about to begin with. The only reason we were talking about it at all was because of where it happened, and there's validity to that theory. According to the Chicago Tribune, since January 1st, 2018, there have been 113 homicide victims in Chicago. We're on day 92 in 2018, so do the math. That means more than one person a day has been murdered in one city. But we're not talking about that. According to a site called HeyJackass.com, which looks like a website that only exists to rub it in the faces of liberals who think that gun control works, that show that it doesn't somehow. The number of people shot and wounded in Chicago is 447 since January 1st of this year. We're not talking about that either. Why? I mean, I could rattle off theories about how it doesn't fit the media narrative, or it happens so often that it would be impossible to cover all of it, so why bother even trying? And there's probably truth to both of those ideas and any other reasons you can think of. But here's the cold hard truth. No one actually cares. Not really, anyway. I mean, sure, I and a lot of people care that people are getting murdered in crime-riddled cities, but not enough to pay it any attention. I care about YouTube being shot up because I had some connection to it, even if that connection is as flimsy as I upload videos to their servers several times a week. People care when an NFL player beats his wife, not because they care about domestic violence, but because they have a connection with that person 16 Sundays a year. People say stupid shit on Twitter literally every second of every day, but when Trump or Hillary do it, suddenly it's a national media circus. And sure, maybe it does matter a little more when the leader of the free world starts spatting out whatever random thing pops into his head at 3 in the morning, or when a failed presidential candidate calls half the country a basket of deplorables. The fact is that we only care because of who said it, or where it happened, or some other thing on a list of completely arbitrary things. I don't know, maybe this is suddenly on my mind because, to be 100% honest, I got on Facebook and YouTube Live yesterday, not because I cared, but because I felt like I was supposed to care, like I should care, like it's somehow on me, it's somehow my responsibility to care about this. And again, yes, I do care about the victims and the family of that woman who did that thing and how all of this is going to affect the people who are there. And I pray that God sends someone in their lives to show them love and to show them that the only true answer to any of this is Jesus. But I went live yesterday, not because someone was shooting up a bunch of people, but because those people were YouTube employees. I was going to save this for Friday's episode, but I've found myself already kind of talking about it, so this sounds like a good time to say it. Coming up with Talking Heads topic 3 times a week is hard. Sometimes that's because there's just not anything to talk about. Go on IGN or GameSpot and look around, and I guarantee you 50% of the news articles, so basically anything that isn't a podcast or review or something like that, it's just them repeating the same information for the sake of having something for you to click on. And they have teams working for them that are scouring the internet and looking on Twitter and on Facebook and Nintendo's corporate press releases and Sony stuff. And that's the best they can do, is repeating themselves a whole bunch of times. I basically do this YouTube thing myself. Disclaimer, so no one gets upset at me. I'm not complaining. Josh and Jimmy have Twitch and the other stuff that they do, and that's where they put their focus, and I do not mind that one bit. I actually kind of like it, because it gives me a little bit of creative freedom that I wouldn't otherwise have if I was having to work closely with one of them. So I'm completely okay with this arrangement. But since this is how that's going, I have to do all my own writing, my own research, gathering assets, recording the thing, making the footage that goes underneath the thing, editing it, uploading it, getting the metadata and the titles and the tags and on ready. And this is on top of my full-time job and spending time with my wife, who I'm not with right now because I'm doing this. And I'm just thinking about this now. I write all this stuff out, and this is actually a thought that just came into my head. I completely forgot to mention that I also do Across the Forge, and I make sure that the cross-examined episodes are ready to go. And I help take care of the Original Gamers podcast that goes on. And while I have a little bit of help with some of those things, like I said, I'm basically doing this myself. When the topic of Talking Heads is exciting or I'm interested in the subject, I really don't mind being in here. I love this. I enjoy this. There's very few things that give me the joy that I experience by coming in here and working on something that I truly love. And yeah, some of those things that I like more than this are my wife, my kid. I'm not trying to like take anything away from them, because they are my top priority. But if I'm going to be doing something that isn't spending time with them, I want to be in here doing this thing that I love. That video I made about Sony keeping PSN walled off from Xbox Live and Nintendo Network, that was something I was super interested in, and I had a lot to say about it. And if you go watch that video, you can tell I'm energized about it. That video was good. That video was dang good. The one I made Monday about Overwatch League? No interested in that at all. Couldn't care less. But I had a video to make, so I pretended to care. And I made that video, and if you've seen it, it's not great. It's about 3 minutes long, and that's with about 40 seconds of commercials in it. That's a bad video. I don't want to sit down and regurgitate stuff to you that I don't care about. I don't want to get like Angry Joe or PewDiePie and Colin Moriarty and get burned out because I'm doing something I feel like I have to do because I'm supposed to care about this. I want to do what it took Pewd's 2 breakdowns to figure out and start doing. I want to do what I love. That's why I started this thing. That's why Josh and, at the time, Brandon and Patrick Fagan and myself got together to do this. We wanted to do something that we love. I love playing video games. I love talking about video games. I love talking about playing video games. I love playing video games and talking about video games with other people. So yes, that's what I'm going to do. I'm loving playing Kirby and Bayonetta and commenting on it while I play. I'm enjoying that way more than I ever thought that I would. I'm having a friggin' blast playing Into the Breach. I love BioShock more than I ever thought that I would. I miss sitting down and making P3 and going through and finding all the embarrassing stuff that I do while playing games and sharing it with you. I miss having time to edit as played by Ned, or Peaches and Stream. I miss coming to Original Gamers Podcast prepared and ready to go. I haven't been able to concentrate on any of this because I've been doing what I felt like I had to do because it was something that I was supposed to be caring about. So here's the deal. I'm not going to promise you something I can't deliver. Until I get a team, like a review guy who's able to do a review once a week, and video editors that I'm able to go, hey, go get that piece of footage and cut it down into something that is enjoyable, and I can rely on them to do it all the time. And once again, I'm not complaining about the team that I have. They have school and work and a whole bunch of other stuff, and I am so thankful to God that He brought them here to help me do what it is that they can help me do. But until I get a real solid team that can be here and do this every day like I want to be able to do, I cannot possibly promise you a news show every other day. I can't possibly promise you that there is without a doubt going to be daily content. I can't promise you anything other than that I'm going to do what I love and what I enjoy, and I'm going to share it with you. And I hope that you will stick around and support it. But if you decide that that's just not something that you want to do, I hate to see you go. But better to see you go than to look back on this in 3 years and think to myself, oh my gosh, I hate all of this. What did I spend the last 3 years of my life doing? And you know what? I might be dead wrong about this, but I've got a feeling that not only will the content be better because of this change in attitude, but I think it'll increase in frequency as well. But again, I'm not promising you that. If I do this for a while and it turns out I was wrong, we'll just throw it all up in the air and change it again, because you know what? I run this joint and I can do whatever the heck I want. Ha ha ha. Could you tell that laugh was forced? Because, gosh, it felt forced. I hate acting. I'm not an actor. I'm just not. Anyway, that was a weird shift in topic. I hope I didn't lose you if you even made it this far. I'm going to try and sum it up in case you're, really confused. Pray for those who need it. Don't pretend to be interested in things just because you think you should be interested in them, because it shows when you really care, and it shows when you really don't care. Now, another disclaimer, I never said don't do anything you hate. Sometimes you gotta suck it up and do things you hate. That's life. What I am saying is know when you have to do something that you hate, and know when you don't have to do something that you hate, and respond accordingly. I really hope that I'm responding accordingly to the situation that I'm in, and that you'll come join me for some fun, and that all of this will be better because of it. If you liked this mess of a video, give it a thumbs up. If you're just weirded out and confused and kind of want to see other people for a little while, I don't blame you. Go ahead and hit the thumbs down button. Make sure you subscribe and click the bell icon. Check us out on Facebook, Twitch, Patreon, and visit our merch store, which you can find links to in the description below this video. And I'll see you whenever I see you.